Immortal, this is fire.
Yo, what's going on, people? What's going on, people? It's SVD back again with another episode of Community Corner. Welcome. Hope you guys have had a good day out there. Hope everyone's been positive and productive. Today we have none other than Kenno on today's episode, so we're gonna get our guests of the moment on shortly. Shout outs to you guys. But I just try a different angle this time for a change, like, just try and mix it up a bit. And why is it gone blurry? But anyway, we're gonna get straight into it. So before we start, quick announcements, of course. If you didn't know, VSFighting XIII has been announced in terms of the dates, 24th to 26th of July. We've moved a few weeks forward, but it's all good. But there's details forthcoming soon in regards to obviously other things, games and stuff like that. But obviously we're working hard in the background. But the dates are there and things. It's gonna be in Birmingham, so can't wait to see you guys there. We also have should really cue these things up before I start, shouldn't I? We also have Drowning Balls coming up very soon. Let's get a review. Got Drowning Balls coming up very soon. November 15th. Sign-ups are still available, but I'm sure they're going to be closing pretty soon. So if you guys ain't signed up already, I'd suggest you get down there. 15th of November. That is next weekend, I think. But yeah, we got Street Fighter Tekken, Guilty Gear Strive, Grand Blue, On the Night, Exard, Rev 2, Skullgirls, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Vampire Savior, and Virtua Fighter as well. So looking forward to that. And also, we have all the previous episodes of Community Corner and the YouTube playlist, which I'm about to put in the chat shortly. So yeah, if you're interested in obviously going back on any of the previous episodes, you can do that. Feel free. Let me put the link in the chat right now. Over there, shout out to you guys. We appreciate the support and everything. And without further ado, I'm gonna get our guest on for today's episode. Shout out to Kenno. Hello. Whoa. There you go. My bad, bro. My bad. How you doing, sir? How you doing, man?
I am sound on this lovely Thursday. I'm happy to be here. How are we, lad?
Nah, I'm good, man. I'm happy to have you here, man. Happy to have you. Thanks. We appreciate the time. Appreciate you coming on and
always
sharing your evening with me first of all, and obviously with the rest of the people as well. So yeah, obviously if you don't know, Kenno's part of this fighting game community, as it were. Obviously he's been around for, I'm sure we'll get into how long he's been around and things like that and how we got into it. But for now, I guess just obviously if they don't know, let the people know who you are.
My name's Kenno. I'm a commentator, tournament organizer. I used to stream, and I've just got some mad posts on Twitter. Commentate Strive, commentate a little bit of Marvel, and obviously Grand Blue as well. And yeah, it's been a busy year for me. So hopefully you can keep getting busier.
Nice. So I guess my first question is, how did you kind of get into, what was your kind of first experience with fighting games, and how did you kind of get into fighting games in general?
Fighting games, it's two different stories. So fighting games, it was sick on sick days in primary. I get just shoved in my hands because my mum would work all day. My mum would just go to your hands if you're going off from school. She had an SNES with original Mortal Kombat. So
Nice.
I'd get a lovely cup of tea, I'd get a lovely Vicky sponge throughout the day, and I'd just sit there and I'd play Mortal Kombat 1 all day. Didn't know how to play it, and I'm just mashing it like that. And then I guess my first console that I owned was a 360. For some reason, when I walked in to, if you remember it, Granger Games, when that was knocking about, I asked the guy over the counter, I was like, what's the latest Street Fighter? I want to play Street Fighter. And he handed me XIII. I just thought, yeah, that's the one everyone's playing. And I played that as a kid. But that's like fighting games. FGC wise, it's probably from university. I'd played a little bit of fighting games, like dotted about, sort of growing up. A little bit of Street Fighter 2 on like the SNES, and then at some point, my dad had a Sega Saturn, and that's when I played a couple on there as well, along with the PS1 as well. So it was quite nice in terms of like library ad. But FGC wise, it was when Staffs University used to do a esports varsity. That's the word. They used to have varsity, and then a week later you would have esports varsity. And we caused a ruckus in when we first got there. And we were like, if you're having all these like esports games, if you're having Hearthstone, which is mad, like we want Tekken, Street Fighter, and Dragon Ball. And they went, yeah, go ahead. And this is when we learned Keel, who we used to verse, just doesn't play fighting games. They had like two lads who played, and we watched them in the games. And then from that point onwards, it just become this progress of just like, oh, I quite like this little community you can get into and play fighting games with, and it was sound. And it's probably where I've met some of my mates, closest mates today, I'd say.
Yeah. So was it more of was that kind of your first experience with like a quote unquote scene, if you will, or did you have like a kind of a scene of like your friends growing up that used to play fighting games with you, or was that kind of like the first experience?
No, as I grew up, the only time I played fighting games was was Smash, but even then it would be like all items on stage hazards. Someone would be grabbing Final Smash and killing like 10 people at once, and you'd be like, all right, sant. It was only when I used to have I've got a mate called Ruben who introduced me to Skullgirls, and he was like, do you like Marvel 2? And I was like, I know of Marvel 2. I know it's like some big thing, but like I don't know about it. And he went, all right, well, you like this game? And for some reason, like one of my first games I was getting really good at was Skullgirls. And even then in that game, I used to play solo Beowulf because I was like, everyone else was too hard to play. I'll just play this lad who like chain grabs. I was like, that's funny. As a chain grab chair, set up chain grabs, and I just do. From that point, I started learning. And then when I got into, I think, Staff's Fight Club, one of the lads I seen there was like playing Skullgirls, and I was like, I want to play with you. And his name, I think it was Connor, who used to run it at the time, and he just watched me, and I was like, oh, this is the next level of like people playing fighting games. And then from that point, it was Staffs University. I always find it quite funny because obviously I'm from Liverpool, so you'd think the scene would be Liverpool, but my first one was Staffs, because I didn't know about fighting game scenes when I was like 14, 15. It was only when I went to like university at like 18, I was like, oh, it's like this is actually, you get together and you play this. That's weird. And when I went back to Liverpool and I tried to look for one, I don't know if it started in the Pilgrim or it started in Sanctuary on Lime Street. But that's when I found like their scene. Which is funny because one of the first people I played there, it was like, did you play Marvel 3? And I was like, very casually. And he asked, sit down and play. And then they asked me if I played Dragon Ball. And they were like, yeah, just play him. And they put me up against Mystic. And I was like, you are assholes. Years later, I'm just like, I was really shit at them. But no, they're funny. That's how I met him. He was like, we played Dragon Ball. I got washed there. But I at least took like a character or something. And I was like fairly confident. I think he was playing like Cooler. And then he went, oh, do you play Marvel? And I was like, I played Doom for like a little bit. And he was like, oh, we'll play Marvel. And he just rinsed me. And I was just like, I probably should have guessed from the name that he played Marvel. You can't be called Mystic Smash and not play Shiva Gorath. I was like, sort of putting one to one together.
So they say Skullgirls, would you say that was like the first game that you kind of started to actively play competitive and actively learn then?
It was the first one where I realized fighting games are combos. I was like, I just didn't clock on. Even like X3 Fighter, I just play. What was it? You had gems, and then you just had like the double modes, and then I just like force that into the single player arcade, and I'd just be like, sick, all right. I'd just
Yeah.
doing that with my 360 controller. It was only when I got to Schoolgirls when I knew about like an arcade stick, and I got what did I get? The Venom, PlayStation Venom. Do you remember that one? Like
I
the
think I remember
super
that one, yeah.
customizable one. Everyone's
Yes,
had one,
yes.
and then I had that, and I was playing Schoolgirls on that, and I was like, sick, yeah.
Nice. So I guess like from obviously, you know, playing Skullgirls and starting to get the scene at uni, how does it progress to, you know, you start playing and to like are you still an active player now actually, or is it more, you know, commentary side of things really before we kind of get on?
It's defo more commentary now. It's
Yeah.
defo I'm at a point where I realize there is like the odd fighting game where I think I'm still boss at that, you know.
Yeah.
Fuck you, sort of thing. I'm like, I'm still sick, yeah. You know, I
Yeah.
think it was VSFighting. I was playing Grand Blue, and I just said to myself, my aim was like just get past top 25, and I was like one off, and I was like, that's definitely about it because I ran into like 2 beaters in a row, and I was like, I just wanted to, you know, I just wanted to jump into a hole. I was like, not 2 of them, but it was, you know, it's definitely more like commentary now. It's definitely I've just sort of it's a realization of if I'm playing fighting games and I'm gonna enter, it's either gonna be at me local or at me local major, and it's just there purely to have fun now because I know how good I am, but I also know I can just chalk, you know, bad wham on the mic, and for some people like it. You know, I can call just what was it? I think I was at NSE, the National Student Esports. I did Smash. It was the first time I'd done Smash for like a proper paid gig. I did it with Elixir, and I was dead nervous the whole way through. And he looked at me and went, just chat wham. I was like, just chat wham. The next thing that came up was I can't remember who the bars was, but the bars I got juggled to like 0 to 100. And I was like, we were both silent during the whole time, and it cuts, and I just go, this lad's crap. It's just like, he's crap. What's he doing here? And I was just like, we're commentating over it, and I think we were in the hotel. And he walked up and went, did you call me crap on mic? And I went, yeah. And he went, ow. And I'm just like, well, you got 0 to death. Like, that's not my fault. Like, I'm just pointing it out what other people are probably pointing out. Like, that's not my bad.
Yeah, so I guess like obviously you're playing Skullgirls and stuff, and you know, you're playing. Were there any other games that you kind of played before you kind of transitioned into like commentary, so to speak?
Rivals of FIFA, that platform fighter, mad one. I know it's
I've
honestly polar opposites in terms of, because I remember the beta came out in I want to say like 2014, 2015. I had the beta for ages, played it, dropped off a bit, and then I went back to it, and then not much after that. I guess I played like Rashid for a month in Street Fighter 5, but then I was just like, nah, this game's crap. I was just like, I just didn't like it. And then someone, one of my mates was like, oh, play Tekken. And then when someone was like, yeah, you sidestep, I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean sidestep? I was like, I'm not going sideways. When I press up, I want to jump, not go to the left. That's weird. It's funny because I've never played it. It's been in my collection since I've been about 10. I've got the first tag game there, Tekken Tag. Just it's just been there for ages. It's just been my brother's, so I don't know what it is. Tekken's been a part of the life, but I've just never liked it. It's fun to watch though, especially when Jordan's on the stage, like when Coenzi's on the stage. That's when it's fun.
Shout out Coenzi. So I guess so what kind of prompted to transition into commentary then, in terms of, okay, I'm playing, and you know, there's certain games I don't like, but what kind of prompted you to say, okay, I'm gonna focus on commentary? Or was it more of a natural kind of, it just happened kind of thing?
The easy answer is just to be like, I was crap at playing them, but I was boss at talking at them. But it was, so going back to that, when we did our varsity, went back to staffs, that's when someone looked at me and went, do you just want to jump on the mic as like a filler? And we were sat there and it was just that funny because they were just like, we just need you to fill 20 minutes, and there was nothing on the screen for 20 minutes. I was just talking about staffs, and I was like, this is crap. I was like, is the PlayStation hooked up? Because it was my PlayStation. And they went, yeah. And I just looked around the room. I seen my mate Josh, who's like a big Soul Calibur player, and I seen someone else, and I went, jump on and just play Third Strike, and I'll just talk nonsense. And I think that went on. That was meant to be a 20-minute break. It went on for like an hour because like the Rocket League team was late. I was meant to commentate Rocket League at that point. because they just needed someone for that, and I was just like, yeah, just jump on. I'm just gonna talk wham about Street Fighter for like
Yeah.
a sec, because I kind of know it. Someone play Alex, and I'll talk about Alex.
Yeah.
And it was just one of them, and it was a natural progression. Then I got the National Student Esports thing for that, and I was like, okay, I might be good at this. If I'm getting paid for it. Some people liked it, I guess. And then, obviously, at that point, COVID did it, and it was like the progression of the sort of the switch into online. It was like, can you fill in them spots in onlines? And then it was just sort of each step. I see him in chat, big man like C4, obviously. Cocky Bastard Kumite was one of them. And funnily enough, that's where I met Jonesy as well, to be fair. I got thrown onto mic with him and I was like, who's this man? He smells, but and then I commentated with him.
Jonesy's in the chat as well. Shout out to Jonesy.
Oh, is he? Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, they're in the chat as well.
He had what was his picture? It was his picture was the Dragon Ball Durag, and I was like, oh no, he's got good music taste, so we'll go from there. And then I was
my bad. Shout out Stone. My bad. Commentators associations in the chat.
Don't shout at him out. He smells. He smells Arsenal. Smells.
Yeah, I support Arsenal too. So, but before we continue, Dunker's asked, can we ask him about Liverpool's form in the league? But we're gonna get to football. We're gonna get to football. As an Arsenal fan, we're gonna get to football. We're gonna just let Kenno tell his story, and then we're gonna get to football. Don't worry about that.
The stew that's stewing here is crazy. It's gonna get to a point where it's just us barking about Arsenal Liverpool, which is mad because it's not a fair argument.
But anyway, let's continue. So you're saying obviously these are kind of like the times where you've kind of getting your first experience with commentary, and I think what did you kind of take any kind of like knowledge of, okay, let me learn about this to try and like come across better on the game, or was it just like natural to you in terms of you played a little bit, you had a bit of experience, and then you kind of it was natural just talking about these games?
It was, I don't want to say it's natural because I just sound dead cocky.
It's fine. You can be cocky.
It was just one of them. I just stepped into it. I love Tanata, so if I can just start talking about something that I like, I'll just start talking something that I like. I've got a wall of robots behind me. I could talk about them for about 2 days. It was just sort of one of them when every time there was just a moment at university, if I could just pick up a mic and just, it was never like even like proper commentary. It was always just like, I just take the mick out of someone if they're getting like combos. Like my favorite memory was we used to have a lad at Staffs, and he thought he was, Billy Big Bollocks. He was always like, I'm bossing every game. And then we had Cameron come in, and we both sat them down. It was like semi-finals of our like normal tournament. Both played Marvel 3, and he's just getting washed by his Phoenix, right? And it's me, Morit, and Charles. We're all on mic, and we're just at the back, just shouting on the mic, and it's just the whole room can hear it. And it was just like, we just kept shouting. It was just like, he's guilty. Look at this. He's guilty. And you've got like Moritz like running to the front, and he's going, case closed, like that. And it's just us just chatting, man. And then every hit would just be like, ooh, court felony or something like that. Just something mad. And it would just be like that every week. And then at some point, I went, I'm going to send this to Damascus. And he went, yeah, you can jump on Wanted. And I was like, that's a bad idea. But here we are.
Nice.
And then it just sort of, it sort of progressed from there. I realised in certain settings I can't say certain things, but it is what it is. When sponsors are there, you got to sort of tone it down a bit. It's more one of them. It's just sort of just like, you just say what you want to say.
Yeah. So was that kind of like your first, I guess, like obviously you've been commentating everything. Was that kind of like your first exposure in terms of like the wider community, in terms of people finding out who you are, and was that like the first platform where you had?
I think I can't remember, because I don't want to. My first exposure to like fighting games in regard, because we knew of so Quenji went to our university, so we went to our first VSFighting, and we seen him, and we were like, oh, there he is, and we walk up to him. Obviously, he's talking to like everyone, and we're just like, how do you know all these people? And then that's when it become a part of like, oh, these are all like really cool people. I want to get to know them. And then
Yeah.
I think it went until I want to say like Celtic Throwdown, maybe, if you know the Irish range that used to be. Obviously, you know, I guess IGM now. Shout out to obviously Sinead, just ran that last week. It was fantastic to watch. But it was sort of only like there where, you know, you'd have like the one or two person would be like, you're Kenno, you're over here, you're doing this. And I'd be like, all right. And that's when it started to grow from there. And I realized, oh, it's getting a little bit more serious now. You know what I mean? It's I think only with, I guess, Strive is when people are sort of just pointed and just being like, I know you are. And I'm just like, you shouldn't. I'm just some fat novice from Liverpool, you know. I'm just gonna get on the mic. I'm gonna call Leo crap and say he needs buffs, and then I'm gonna jump off. That's it, really. You know, it's one of them.
So as you say, obviously, you kind of got called up for Wanted to do some streams on Wanted and stuff. Again, you kind of touched on, you know, certain things that you can't say, the certain things, you know, you got to be a bit more professional, so to speak. So how did you find that in comparison to the other kind of commentary streams and things that you've done?
It's so easy to sneak some stuff in. obviously, it was always like I work a government job, so obviously when I'm speaking at my job, there's a certain way I gotta speak, and I was just like, if I can translate that over to commentary and keep the accent, then it'll be sound. Because there was a point when I think one of the biggest sort of criticisms I got when I was starting to sort of get into commentary, Jonesy turned around and went, keep the accent, don't get rid of the accent. And I was like, no one can understand me. They only went, yeah, but it's funny. It just makes you, you know, makes you an individual. It makes you unique. You know, he was like, name another scouser around you who's doing commentary, and I guess there is no one. You know what I mean? And there's I think that's obviously like, you know, it sort of adds a little bit of that element, I guess. And at work, and definitely when I was in staffs in my classes, I had to get rid of the Scouse accent. I had to speak a lot more neutral, and it was sort of just one of them where it was like, as time's gone on, I've sort of just peppered it back in where I can. But it was always at the start, it was always one of them, because as I naturally speak, the word, and I got it pointed out to me by when we were in staffs, the word fucking was always at the end of my sentence. It was either at the end or at the start. I'd be sitting there and I'd be like, I don't know, fucking like that. And they'd be like, you need to stop saying that. And I'm like, I know. I think it was when I got onto Wanted, it was one of them where it was like, I sort of clocked, and it was like a lot of people aren't swearing here, and I'm like, I need to like cut it out me thing. And sometimes when you know, when the hype and when the tempo's like up there, you let a word slip. Now and again you can let a joke in or two that is a bit of an inside joke. Something you shouldn't do on commentary when you're doing inside jokes, because then you and then one of the lad in, you know, back in England or somewhere else is gonna laugh. But you know that you get that laugh, but it's something that you shouldn't do. But now and again you can sneak it in, you know, now and again it's a bit of a laugh for the people around you.
Of course. So what games do you actually commentate at the moment?
Right now, just Grand Blue.
Just Grand Blue.
I did do Strive at UFA, but it was very much. It was kind of funny because last year I did a load of Strive and I did a little bit of Grand Blue, and it was kind of like, it was more like I was talking to the likes of like Cake and like Vietnam, and I was like, I want to do more Grand Blue. I love playing this game. I don't really like playing Strive anymore, but I like watching Strive. It was one of them where it was like, I feel a little bit dishonest on the mic if I'm commentating a game I don't like to play, because it makes no sense. Like, why? I like watching it. I love some of the UK lot in Strive. You know, shout outs to the likes of like Lukey and Tiger and that. Super fun to talk to. Some of the stuff as well, obviously, especially Gideon as well. Some of them, you know, are absolutely fantastic. I just don't like the game. I just really don't like the game. Like, I play the game and I'm just like, I don't like it. Well, I'll speak about XR now. C4s, hang on. but yeah, it was. But I wanted to make that transition into Grand Blue. I was like, I love this game, and then when I started learning more about the community, I was like, oh, these are kind of like the Strive community. You know, I like them a lot. They're all really funny guys. And then when I got to this year, it was just all Grand Blue, no Strive. When I try and step in for Strive, and I'd be like, if you need an helping hand. They'd be like, we're sorted. And I'd be like, all right, sad. I'm going to do Grand Blue. Easy. If it's sorted, it's sorted. I don't need to step in. But yeah, like, I guess I mentioned them now because it seems like they're getting brought up. XIII was something that I used to do, and then it dropped off. And then just at some point, UFA were like, we just need someone to do XIII. And I was like, I'll jump on. I used to do it. And then they were like, yeah, go ahead. and then I just started picking her up again. I don't know why it's become like a yearly thing now over at UFA. Just UFA's just like, we need someone like Exad. Damascus and Abu look at me, just point, and I'm just like, yeah, God, yeah. Who's my partner? Was like, we don't know. I'm like, just give me whoever. I think I've had like, I've done XR for 4 years now. Each and every time I've had someone different. So I'm the only one that stayed. I've just had someone different every time. It's always been fun. It's always been that fun, but it's one of them. And then Dragon Ball is actually one of the games I started on, but Dragon Ball was another one when you tried to step in and just everybody was doing it. So it was one of them where I was like, I never got the opportunity, never got to really do what I wanted until, I guess, when the game's dead. Never got to do it offline, because obviously everywhere you'd go, the London Knot would be there doing it, and you'd just be like, I'm just gonna sit here and play the game because I'm a Dragon Ball fan. I enjoyed the series. I've got cabinet back there filled with like 200 million figures, but it's one of them where it'd just be like, there's nothing I can do with that. So if I can't if I'm not good enough to step in, then I'm just gonna leave it, because then there's clearly better people on the mic than me. But that's not to mention, when I've had that opportunity to step on to like Dragon Ball, I've been able to do it with Dunk, I've been able to do it with Jonesy, and that's when it has just been sort of, I don't know why it always ends up like this. It's really good commentary. We take the mick out of each other for like 30 minutes, and then it's really good commentary. It's a bit of, it's just one of them. It's a good banter. So that's why I consider them some of the people.
You kind of need that balance sometimes. It can't be all professional all the time. You sometimes need that bit of,
when it's like that, it's so boring. I want to go to sleep. It's like, why are you talking about frame data sat next to me? Like, call him a gimp for not blow parrying. Like, you know what I mean? Just do that. Just call him. Just be like, you'll see someone TOD and you're like, ooh, and it's like, no, don't. Just be like, why are you getting it? Like, what are you doing? Like, just I don't know. Just make fun of people. It's funny. It's what it's there. Just a quick tease, and then everyone's all right. Sort of lowers the mood. It lowers the not lowers the mood. Sorry, it lowers the sort of expectations. Everyone's getting more set in. If you can make a more, I guess, jovial atmosphere, it's one of them where it's just like, becomes a lot more laughs. That's what you want.
Yeah. So I guess, you mentioned previously that you've done commentary at UFA. What events have you actually done commentary? And I guess kind of on the spot now, but what would be like your top 3 events that you've done commentary at for any reason? It doesn't have to be specifically the event. Maybe like a moment happened or something, or just a personal reason.
I'm going to go a big shill now and say the top 3 were VSFighting 24, 25, and 23.
I didn't pay him. I didn't pay him to say that.
Somewhere out there, Justin's, he'll send the check. It's all right. I've done, I think this year was when I feel like I've completed Europe. I've sort of, I've done me sort of checklist. My final thing was a UFA top 8 main stage, which is what I got to do. I got to do that with Jonesy. I got to do top 6 with Jonesy, which was very, very nice to do. It was kind of funny because that same event, they were like, you're going to do top 6. You're going to do top 4 Grand Blue. And I was like, easy. I was like, well, that's it. It's crossed off. It's not main stage, but I'll take it. It's what I wanted. It was a main game, top 4 to top 8. Shout outs to Tynham, because when it came to that, he turned around and just went, do you just want top 8? And I was like, are you sure? And he just went, yeah, take it. I'll just do the first half and then I'm going to get off. And I was like, oh. I was like, yeah, I'll pick it up. Did the second half with 0. And the very nice man that he is, gave me that. And it was that year when I had a top 8 at Grand Blue and then a top 6 at Guilty Gear. So sort of not only was the dream sort of list ticked off, it was completed with 2 times. I got an SS on that rank at the end of that mission. So
nice.
But it's always been one of them, like in regards to like the places where I've commentated, because it sort of bounces in between like mix up with Dave. I did a full, it was like top 16 into top 8. It was like 5 hours of us just shouting. It was also the first time I did mix up, so I was able to check that off my licks.
Nice.
Koto, I'd done 2 years on the run with Dunk. In the first time we did every game together, which was funny because I had to carry him in Guilty Gear, and then he carried me in Street Fighter, and then takes us through us on Dragon Ball, and we would just be in knobheads the whole time. So it is what it is. Lovable knobheads, obviously. And then Celtic Throwdown, IGM, both of them were obviously fantastic. Both of them were really fun. Got to watch Gideon smash the screen live. which was, I never thought I'd see that at an event. I thought that was the sort of old days of FGC, but
Yeah.
there we go, we're spiking controllers onto tables and they're pinging right into monitors, which is quite funny. But then, you know, it's sort of just one of them. I guess in regards to me top 3 that I've ever done, it would be me first VSFighting top 8, which I did with C4. It was the platinum event. I remember because I had some sick gear on. I had UNCG Jordan 1s, like light blue. I had some really sick pants on. I had the Leon away top for that year, which is like a light blue with the 90s badge. And then I had like a Bridget like jacket I bought that year from Evo. I didn't buy it. I seen Tiger. I gave him like £100 and went, buy me that jacket. And he went, all right, something. And he just came back and gave it to me with that. I was like, sick, that's mine.
Nice.
That was sort of like a dream come true, because that was like, this is the UK. I'm doing a top 8. I can see everyone in front of me. You know, I'm not sweating from this big light that's glaring down on me in this massive jacket that I've got on, and I'm dead nervous. No, it's a great opportunity, but I did that with C4, and I went back and I listened to that, and I realized how much C4 carried me in that top 8. I didn't realize how nervous I was. I was like, I need to clean that up. That needs to be well better. And then I guess, yeah, the other one is obviously UFA top 8 with Jonesy. I never thought I'd be able to do Brazilian funk on the mic, you know, in the middle of a Parc de Paris, but you know, here we are. Sorry, not Parc de Paris, but Paris Le Docks. But it was kind of funny. Abby won on stage. I just did, and I'm like, oh, we're doing the whole thing, all right. So we're just like, that, and we're doing all that crap on the mic. We're like dancing like that. Like, we're not on main stage. We're on like our own little camera, but we're just dancing like that, just sat behind the mic. And then I guess me last one would probably be, I'd be bad if I didn't say Wake Up. But whenever I've just had to just been thrown, because obviously Wake Up, I try and hire other commentators. I throw myself onto the mic and being a cheap bastard. You know, I'm trying to get players on and pay them. So it's always an opportunity. It's not my commentary moment. It was giving Hako his commentary moment and then just watching that. And then he'd come off and he'd ask me what to do. And I'd just be like, is my notes on how I commentate, take that, sit down, read them, commentate how to commentate. And then if you want any other answers, just come back to me. And it was sort of just one of them. It was, you know, I sent him on with Koenji when, you know, he got out, and it was also on the mic, and it was just nice to see. And to be fair, seeing Hako now doing obviously VSFighting offline as well, it's amazing. So it's nice to see that sort of progress. So I'd say they're me top 3 in regards to like commentary moments.
Yeah. So I guess something you mentioned that you briefly that you gave me some notes and stuff. How do you kind of assess yourself in terms of commentary, in terms of like where do you feel like you can improve on? How do you go about that process?
I start at the process of, I'm crap. Everyone else is better than me, because I feel like climbing upwards is the better thing to do in life. You know, if you throw yourself right into the middle, you've got an opportunity to slide down, and you don't want that. You want to say everybody in this chat's better than me, and you want to say that at every event. You want to say that every time you meet someone. You know, I want to go to somewhere and go, I'm the worst commentator here, but if I'm getting put on the mic, I must be better than you. I must be better than you. I must be better than you. And then it becomes to a point where if you can build off sort of watching your own stuff, seeing your own mistakes, ask people as well that you sort of commentate with, or even watch your stuff, be like, what do I do a lot that it just annoys you? I used to say at the end of every sentence with when I'd say a statement, I'd say obviously. And someone was like, is it obvious? And I was like, well, I guess not. It's just something I just say. It's just something in language.
It's one of those things.
It's just one of them things. So I just got rid of it. I was just like, I just have to get rid of it. And I got rid of that over time. I used to mumble into myself a lot because I don't know what it is with the Scouse accent. You don't pick your mouth up a lot when you sort of speak because you're speaking too fast. But it was one of them where it was like, I noticed that. I was like, I need to start opening my mouth more. And I need to start pronunciating my words proper. So I have to do that. Even when I was trying to get rid of the accent, I was mumbling into my mouth. So it's all about obviously picking up them small bits and reviewing your own work, but then not comparing yourself against other people, but sort of getting over that hump of realizing you're not trying to be better than them. You're trying to be good enough for the person who's going to hire you. And, you know, if they go, yeah, you're sick, jump on, then you're at that point where it's like, it doesn't matter if you're better than that person or not. This person's hired you because he thinks you're better. You know what I mean? So it's about from that. And then from that as well, if you can get the basics sorted, just develop your own style. You know, everyone's got their own style of commentary. If you can get away from that esports style where, you know, everyone's sort of like sat up like that and they're talking about the game, like don't do that. You know, we're not esports. You know, it's I'm sat there wearing a, you know, for some reason at this fight wearing a Real Madrid top, but I've got a snapback on. I'm just talking about Leo doing like the worst combo ever, but for some reason it's killed against the wall. Here we are, you know what I mean? I'm not here talking about player stats. I'm not here talking about the frame date in the game. I'm here to talk about the story of the people who are here, where they've been, where they're gonna go, how the tournament's been played. And then I'm here about, you know, talking about the gameplay that's in front of me. You know what's going on. This I've always said this, you know, people know what's going on, right? The core audience always knows what's going on. If you tell someone like, did you know that's 5 frames? They're gonna be like, yeah, of course I did. I play the game. Like, tell me something else. It's like, well, and this is where like you get sort of the contrast of that. So like, for instance, Vieren's really good at going, because that's that goes into this, and then you'll explore like, here's like the story path of like what this button can do, and that's what Viren can do. Jonesy's really good at sort of like explaining a sort of character story and into a situation. You know, Dunk's sort of good at sort of like player building and getting that story sorted. And you know what I mean? It's like get your style sorted. And, you know, don't fall into the esports trap. Get a style sorted. Don't fall into the esports trap. That's all I say.
Nice. I like it. Some great advice there, I think, and I agree with you in terms of, you know, not being esports, if you will, in terms of commentary. Like, I like when, like, for me personally, when I'm watching like streams and tournaments and stuff, I like when the commentators have their own personality and kind of, you know, they have their own vibe and own different kind of style and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely some good advice there. Definitely. So I think in terms of, obviously you said you've worked with like many partners. That sounds a bit funny, but yeah. Anyway, you said okay, you worked in commentary.
Swinging, that's crazy. That's
you worked in commentary with many partners. How have you found that? I guess in terms of, you know, working with different people and obviously adjusting to styles and things, and how does that? How do you find that?
I have a gimmick, which is I find out how long my set is with a person I don't know. I give them half an hour, and if I can find the wavelength in half an hour to pounce off them, because the thing is, there's no point in going into a commentary set and dominating it, because you're both going to want to dominate, right? That's especially if you're with someone new, because if you're with someone new, they're either going to be too shy to speak, so it's going to be all you, or you're going to dominate over them and they're going to try and dominate for the mic for you as well. And that's when you get the moment where like you're both shouting at like the climax of a game, and it's like, no, don't do that. Don't be a Ming. Like find out what the wavelength is. Find out how they commentate. I've never commentated with Rekka before. Lovely lad, love him. Runs a great local. You know, you can go to that next this weekend actually, Red Bull. But if you can get that like half an hour, when I was on with Rekka at Mix Up, I was like, I've never done XR with him. I'm gonna give him half an hour. I'm gonna see how he commentates. I can see how I can bounce off this. Found out how he did it straight away. You know, and then it was just sort of like, I know where the wavelength is, I know where I can be, I know what he's going to talk about, so I know I'm going to talk about. I'm going to start talking about these players. I'm going to start talking about the sort of the mini tour that these have, because these lot come to every event. I'm going to start talking about that. Rekka wants to talk about the game and the characters. That's fine. Let him talk about the game and the characters. Let him talk about sort of the instances that can happen and such. Let me pick this up there and fill in the information for you. Unironically, let me be the support in that situation. I'll throw my hands up and just be like, take it, just take it. You know, it's one of them. And that's when, you know, I had an amazing set with Rekka for that top 8 for XR. It was one of them. It was super fun. Same situation with, and I can't believe I'm saying this about C4, but it was the same situation with C4, because he hadn't done XR at ages when we did it at crossover. And when he was just like, when he was popping off, I was like, I need to say nothing. I was like, this is just the C4 show. I'm just going to let this man just pop off with this. And if I can chime in and be like, I can be like this player or that player or that player, or like this situation and that situation, or like this and that. Or if I can like pick up like a moment in history that reminds us, or like a moment like reminds us of something, then we can bounce off that. We can talk in between. And, you know, it's all about, for me, it's all about finding that wavelength. And if I don't find that wavelength, you're crap. It's the brutal honesty, but you craft like it's one of them. It's I can't
Yeah.
if I can't find the wavelength with you. Unfortunately, it's gonna become either two esports where I don't like it, or it's gonna become a point of we're not ping pong at this point. It's chess. You're gonna take your turn, wait and think about it, and then give it to me, and then I'm gonna wait for my turn, wait for it, give it to you, and that's when it becomes boring and a little bit dry. And I've had that now and again. You know, it's mainly with like newer people. You had that now and again. You got to realize how people like to commentate, and that's when you get to that sort of motif when you sort of start to find the people that you really like to commentate with. I love to commentate with Jonesy because some of the stuff I can get away with is mad. You know what I mean? It's. I know when someone says to me, "You got on with Jonesy," I'm like, it's gonna be like the easiest 2-3 hours of my life in terms of work. You know, I'm gonna pocket this money and go home, sort of thing. Sticking me on with like Dunk, it's the exact same. Sticking me on with T4, it's the exact same. It's one of them. It's when you can find the people that you commentate with who are your best at commentating with, that's when you start to bounce off. But when you get to the moments where you get with people that you don't know how to commentate with, or you know how they like to commentate, I think it's always better sort of just to lean more into them and be like, you do you. I'll just be here. You know what I mean? This isn't going to be co-commentary. This is going to be like footy. You know, when you watch footy commentary and you have like John Champion, and then for some reason Alan Shearer will come in and just say some nonsense, and you're just like, shut up, Alan Shearer.
It's actual nonsense.
Let me be Alan Shearer in that moment, and let me just say nonsense. Let me take some of the heat away from you, and you just pop off. It's easy as.
Fair. Are there any commentators that you kind of, I wouldn't say look up to, but that in terms of, is there any commentators that you admire?
I guess after meeting him and having a proper convo with him, yipes. I've never, like I said, when I was getting into commentary, I didn't have like an influence. I never had like a moment where I was like, oh, I'm gonna go and like study like how to commentate like this. Oh, I'm gonna study. I never had that. I'm just gonna commentate like, oh, I've gone off. Nah, that's me. That's me camera. I'm gone. It's because I'm throwing me hands in the air. I've got I've got a nose spot, so if I do this, hang on. Yeah, see, it tracks me.
Oh, nice.
So if I start throwing my hands up, it catches like the hand sign. So I've got to watch out for the hands, even though I don't know why I speak with my hands, but it's one of them where it's I've never had like a commentator that I've looked up to. So it was when I spoke to Yipes, I was like, there's been a lot of commentators that I spoke to which are like a real, but this was like, this is a real motherfucker. Like this is like some of the stuff he told and some of the stuff he talked about was like that. And then I guess I spoke to Tasty Steve at VSFighting 2019, and it was weird because I introduced myself as Kenno. No, what's your name? And I was like, oh, Jack. And I was like, I told him that I'm like, I want to be a commentator and blah blah blah. And he just gave me like a short story, and then he gave me like, I believe in you. I haven't spoken to him since because I've never had the opportunity. But I think I seen him at one VSFighting once, and I was like, I'm gonna talk to him. Like, no, he looks busy. I'll leave him to it. That was like, I don't want to like step in and be like, remember that kid from 2019? And be like, that's me. He just look at me like, God, you got fat, and be like, I know, yeah. But yeah, I've never had like a person. I've looked up to my own commentary styles based on how I speak and how I like to speak. And like when I talked to Yipes last year at UFA, and then this year again, I was like, no, this is the person who, this is the person I'm gonna I guess I'm gonna look up to. And then I guess he's gonna hate me for saying it. I guess C4, but C4 just makes me laugh. I'll just be honest with you. I see him get into conversations sometimes, and I'm like, I need to be like that. Like I need to be like that in conversations. He just annoys people, but like when you watch him from the outside, when you're spectating, you're like, kind of makes sense though. It kind of makes sense, and I'm like, I need to be like that. I just need to start annoying people like that. So that's it. I guess them two. If I had to throw someone up.
Fair. Shout out Spawn Life in the chat. Obviously, commenting best find this. Shout out Spawn Life. I think I'm gonna have to reach out to get you on as well at some point in the future as well. Obviously for a future episode, definitely. But no, that's sick, man. I think obviously in terms of your commentary style, just from what I gather and how you are, I feel like it's more of just you being you. You're not putting on okay, I have to be like this and prim and proper and shit. Like, it's you just being you, and I guess that comes off naturally. So like, it's really sick. And whoopsie daisy, what did I even do? Can you still hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Alright, cool. You know what? I moved my hands and plugged out my headphone cable like an idiot. So I'm gonna put it back in now. Oh my
Good.
gosh. This is the professionalism that we have over at Community Corner. I'm back.
The Sony MX5s. It's crazy. It's
Yeah, so I guess like do you kind of have any with your commentary and stuff, like do you kind of have any goals? Like is there like an event that you would okay, I've got to commentate at that event, or this is what I aspire to, where I aspire to commentate at?
Well, like I said, like Europe's complete. I guess the next thing is just waiting for like the new game and then doing it all over again in the new game and just making sure I can get me you know, me name into there and just being like, hey, I do this. Like, so Marvel Toe Hunt's the next one with that. I thought it would be 2XKO, but I just don't like the game and I don't know why. I keep playing it and I'm just like, it's crap. I'm just like, it's crap. When, honest to God, when the ads trundle, I'll be perfect. When the ads trundle, I'll be like, yeah, game's sick now. Game's boss. It's got my favorite character. But at the moment, I'm just like, I just shrug my shoulders out and I'm like, I'll always fun. But like, that's it. Like, no one else really. I thought Timo or Warwick, but no. But the next sort of goal would just be to do it all again into a new game. Like I said, I've done it for Grand Blue now. I guess it would be to do a world tour, get my name at that point. But I feel like I'm 4 steps behind that. I feel like the next thing I need to do is to do something in America. You know, go on my own back, attend an American event, not as a commentator, but as just someone who just wants to do it as like an expo. Enjoy it, talk to people, start, you know, getting my name in there. And then at that point, sort of go and just sort of like get onto commentary like that, you know, hopefully apply, tell them I'm going to go over and then go, we'll put you here and here and, you know, we'll give you an hour. And I'll be like, sick, that's all I want. That's all I need. And then hopefully at some point, you know, it comes like with a point where they go, yeah, we want you now. We want you to come over and commentate it. And I go, sick, I'm going to, you know, I'm going to teach the Americans some mad slang, you know, and that's how it's going to go.
That's it. It's a very logical kind of step that you got, because I think it's easy for like newer commentators and people coming up to see like, you know, the top commentators, if you will, and commentating like the Evos and the combo breakers and stuff, and just think, I want to be there and, you know, this is where I need to be. But I guess obviously your kind of process is to kind of take the steps, even just by yourself saying like, you know, you're going to go to America off your own back. Like, it's something that is really big, to be honest.
It's one of them as well. It's one of them where it's like, it's a step that, you know, you're going to need to take. Let me just turn the tracking off, just as it scans my face. But it's a, you know, that sort of a process that you need to make. But I always feel like, especially with a lot of the commentators that have come from onlines, a lot of them will turn around and go, we expect to be there. And it's like, it's not our scene, you know what I mean? It's not our area to be. It's, you know, it's gonna cost them like $2,000 just to fly us over. Never mind, like, put us somewhere to sleep and eat, you know, for the weekend. You know, that's not our area. So it's on us to obviously not expect that, but to do the research, go into it, and enjoy that as a player and a consumer of fighting games first before, you know, you can get your name down and get, you know, sort of you know, acquainted with, like, you know, with the likes of, like, you know, I guess like Tongue and that, you know, for Tampa Never Sleeps and stuff like that. You know, it's don't go in thinking that you've got a massive head and you're just like, I deserve it because I've done, I don't know, one Sodium Showdown down south. No, Ed, you know, I'm gonna throw a slipper at you there, get a bit real first. You know, you haven't even done Class D Olympians or Brussels or mix up yet. You know, go do them first, and don't just do them once. Do them multiple times. If you can turn around to them and go, yeah, I've been to Class D Olympians like 3 times, and I've been to mix up once, but I've done Brussels Challenge like twice as well, and I've done UFA like 5 times. I've done VSFighting, you know, 10 times, and I've done all these European tournaments. People know me there, and that's when you can sort of not expect it, but you can go in with a stronger hand, and you can go in sort of like looking a lot better instead of just sort of, I don't know, expecting it. You know, you expect that point where it's like, you know, Billy Big Bollocks, and I'm going to go in and just storm in, and then, you know, you get someone who's like King Jobber who just goes, I'm way better than you, and you're like, you are, like, you certainly are, like, you are a boss commentator. I can't take that away. Like, so it's one of them. It's build yourself up first, you know, get that portfolio. When you can make a sick trailer for yourself, then that's when, you know, you can start, you know, people on over. Learn to edit as well. I need to say this. There's too many people who have slideshow commentary reels. Stop it. It sucks ass. Make something fun to watch. Just
Yeah.
make something at least a little bit interesting. Just make something fun. When you make something fun, people go, "That's funny. Who's he?" And then that's it. They remember your name. Then I haven't posted it yet. I keep going to, and I just keep forgetting, just because I've got like Swiss cheese brain, pure holes. But I've got a reel there. It's based on like Pokemon battles. I don't know how I did it. I just did it, but it's crap. But it's one of them where it's fun to watch, and it's got moments where it highlights me. It's got moments where it's becomes fun to watch, and it's all about that. It's it's better yourself first before you start doing all that crap. You know what I mean? If you're taking them next steps.
Just on that actually, which is interesting in terms of being able to promote yourself and stuff. How do you kind of promote yourself? Is it you that reach out to these events? Do they reach out to you, or is it more of
it's one of them where it's, if they don't have an application form, it gets really cringe, because you're just like, I'm a person where it's like, I don't want to ask you because because I'm a TO. If I get an email from someone that's like, I'm a boss commentator, I'll just be like, no, you're not. You know what I mean? Just bin the email. No, you're not. Get out of here. I'll select the commentators. If someone, if it's like that, where it's like, I've got to send a message. But at them point, it's like, just send the message. Just get the notion out there. Just tell people who you are, and start, like I said, just start small. If there's an online for a game that you like, message to people who runs the online. Is there a space? Is there a calendar? Yeah, let me pick it up there. God heavens, there's so many online now that need commentators. It's we all work a 9 to 5. That's obviously extra work to do for like free in the afternoon. And either you're too tired to do it, or you're busy in the afternoon to do it. It's make sure you've got like make sure you can get into the moments where you can build yourself from online, and then start messaging people and get yourself out there. And then when you got the rapport, build a video, and just be like, there's my video. It's sick.
So how long did it take you to edit your video? Just out of curiosity.
I'm a bad procrastinator. As you can see, I've got like a desk of Transformers here. I'll edit something for like 5 minutes and then transform this for like 10. So my last one took like 2 days. It was all right. I think I was in hopefully no one from work's watching. I was in work, and I was just like, I did my work 9 to 10, did it all dead quick, put my laptop there, and then I just started editing. And then you just go through the process. And then that's it. Yeah, I guess like 2 days. You need to learn some stuff from YouTube now and again. It's a free source. It's free source of information.
Yeah. So did you learn to edit specifically for this purpose, or was it?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
I made me first reel, and I said it's crap.
Yeah.
And then I watched everyone else's. They'll see this. Actually, the one to Discord has a commentary channel, and they're posting all theirs in. And I was like, these are crap. They're just slideshows. They're just people just being like, I went here, and then I went here. Here's the name of it in the corner. Here's the clip. No, give me something fun. My first one was me changing the channels on a TV.
Nice.
And then when it gets to like, and that's when like mainly me online stuff. And then when it gets to the end, there's a clip of, I think it's Slash versus Mystic. And Slash kills Mystic in like 3 hits and Strive, because May versus Axel, that's how it is. And we, in that clip, me and Jonesy get up from our chairs and walk away, because we're like, that's nonsense. It cuts to like a thing that's Damascus does on stream, which is remember the Eric Andre show where it has the "Be Right Back"?
Yeah.
He goes, dun, dun, dun. He has that.
Yeah.
He does that on his stream where he goes, and then I edited it to like a VH, like not a VHS. Brain's gone now. What are them TVs called? CRT. That's it. I had it where it shut off like a CRT, and like that was the end of my stream. And then me last one had like a joke at the end, like a secret joke at the end, and then it was like me holding up a sheet of paper that had all my information on. I can't remember how this one ends. I've got, like I said, I've got a brain like Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
Melts in the sun.
But again, see, that's personality, like your individuality and personality coming through in those kind of things, which is important. I guess just one more question before we kind of carry on. I think, what for you is the difference between commentating online and offline? Like, are there any differences, or?
With online, it's way more casual. You can, it's a space not just to introduce yourself as a new commentator, where you can buy all the big fancy equipment for your room and be like, oh, I sound that professional now. But it's a time for like the likes of sort of known commentators to practice. You're there to practice. You know what I mean? It's practice ground. It's training. As much as I love to show respect for the online stuff, and a lot of the stuff online is obviously like important stuff, especially sort of like I guess the first impact for like 2XK was like the first one that comes to mind. That's like proper stuff. But when you get stuff like what obviously used to be like salty or like sodium showdown, or sorry, not sodium showdown, salty EU, and then salt man league. That's it, like salt man league, or like Nayu's one as well that he does on a Thursday. It's on right now actually. You can watch it on his for Grand Blue, and then you have what used to be Grand Blue on like a Monday as well. For them, for me, and what I would be like, commentators who were offline a lot, that's training, that's practice, that's where you can refine your skills, maybe try some bars that you've got written down because it's come to you at like 2 a.m. and you just like down a book like writing it. And then for new people, it's for them obviously to introduce themselves. For offline, it's so much different because obviously you're there. If I'm at home, I'll just wear like an X-Men shirt and I'll just be like, after this, I'll probably just stick in my jammies and go to bed. You know what I mean? So it's one of them where it's like, it doesn't matter as long as you look good from up here and the background sounds, you're all right. But when you're offline, there's a style you got to show, and that's when it's sort of like you sort of conjure where you think, what do I look like for an offline? What does each tournament hold for me? What should I look like for like certain things? Do I dress the same if I'm only going to do pools or Brussels Challenge as I would like a top 8 for like for UFA? If I'm doing 2 games at UFA, is it like, do I dress differently and I dress different there? It's all about your presentation. How do you want to be perceived? I never want to wear a suit on commentary. I never want to look smart on commentary because then it gives the perception that I look like I know what I'm doing, and I don't want to give that perception because I feel like it creates an uneasy atmosphere. Then it creates an atmosphere where it's like, he's dead serious, and I'm like, I'm not. That's why I go in the footy kit. That's why I'll just go in a Liverpool kit and I'll just be like, "Sant, how are you?" And then someone will come over and be like, they're playing. I'm like, yeah, don't worry, I know. Too many times I've been on the mic and they've been playing. By the way, I'll just be like, when was it? We were playing City and I was on the mic and I was like, oh. I was just like, should never do that, by the way. But there's just been like, there's like tournaments when I've just like Liverpool's been playing. I've just been like, so yeah, right, I think it was UFA as well. I got off the mic and I was like, oh yeah, we played Burnley, and I looked and it was 1-0. I was like, yeah, get it there. But it's about obviously how you want to be depicted. Like look at C4 style. Like C4 wears like the hooded thing, has the trackies, but then he has the beads, and when he's doing a mad top 8 because he's got like the massive beads on. He's got like the I nearly called him his G name, but Akuma. What's his G name in Japan? I was like, go eat, Goki. That's it. Yeah, Goki. I nearly called him Goki. I was like Goku. I was like, no, that's not right. But yeah, he's got like that, like necklace thing. Jonesy normally wears like he's got like that Tommy Hilfiger Looney Tunes shape. But then he's got like an MF Doom chain as well. He's normally got that when he's on the mic. People have styles for on the mic, and it's when you're offline, it's a chance to show and represent yourself at that moment. And if you can do it in a really cool and fun way, do it in a really cool and fun way. You know what I mean? Like I said, the fact that I can remember my outfit from last year doing top 8 Guilty Gear. Sorry, that wasn't even last year. That was the year before, 2023, actually. The fact that I can remember that outfit, like from head to toe, it means, I feel forward to dress good. But then it also shows that that's my style. Like, this is me. You're not going to get anything else from me. I've got baggy trackies. I've got like sneakerhead shoes on, and I've got some mad wear on. Like this year UFA, I had the gold Millennium puzzle on me. Why? I don't know. I just thought it was sick. I was like, I'm gonna throw that on. I'm gonna dress up like Doctor Doom, kinda. I'm gonna, I've got a big pair of Timbs. I'm gonna look sick. So it's it's all about obviously presenting the style when you're offline, and that's when you get that opportunity to hammer home who you are, sort of thing.
Yeah, I like it. So obviously aside from commentary, you are let's just say you are a quiz host as well. You are a quiz. So obviously this year you held a quiz at VSFighting this year. The first question I have about that is why how did this come about, and why did you want to do it?
Justin will be mad when I say this, but I was watching a YouTube Jeopardy video in my room, I might have been, you know, a little whiskey deep. You know, it might have been after the Liverpool match. Might have enjoyed
Fair.
myself too much after the friendly.
Fair,
And I
fair,
was watching it.
fair.
I thought this just be dead funny if I just did this like offline. And the thing is, when I'm offline with some of my mates, see Andrew there, some of the front row, they're the mates that we watch like the game awards with, or like when we
Yeah.
have a birthday, we go somewhere.
Mhm.
Like Molly, you know Molly, like Molly, for a birthday did the same thing I did, but it's something we do. We just all the quiz, or we do like slideshows, and we're like
Mm.
as a private little group. It's always
Yeah.
dead funny. But when I had the idea, and I was just like, fuck it, it'd be dead funny if I did it for versus fighting, because like 5 people will show up and it'll just be me doing a quiz in like
Yeah.
some mad area. And then that's when I sent it to I wrote it out, sent it to Justin. I woke up with a bit of an hangover and he went, yeah, go ahead. And I went, oh shit. I was like, I was like, oh fuck, I've actually got to do it now.
Yeah.
Plus, matter one, I got a little bit more excited when I woke up. I was like, oh, actually, that's a sick idea. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Didn't know how it gonna work until we got there on the day, and I went, "Oh, I know how it's gonna work. It's be that easy. I'll just whim it. If I can just whim it, that's all I need." And then,
Yeah.
and I did. I made it. So I didn't realize we were gonna have a prize until I think a month before this fighting. Justin was like, "Yeah, the winner gets this," and I was like, "Oh, I have not made the quiz to have a prize. I've made this just to annoy people." Like some of the questions, like the the TNAMV, where I was just like, whose song's this? And it was like, what's TN's theme or something like that, or I can't remember what the question was, but it was something around three doors down, or like, oh sorry, 3 days grace.
Yeah.
It was like what's this theme? And it was like three days grace, and they were like, no, like I think Ellie got it in the front row. She was like, it's TN's team. I'm like, yeah, it is, yeah. And everyone's like, what do you mean it's TN's team? And I'm like, well, what's the AMV? It's sick. Like, it's the TN AMV, you know, where he's like, for some reason, like someone's doing some like mad fan art of him. And I was just like, that's what the quiz was meant to be.
Yeah.
Like when I was making like the last row of questions, which were meant to be like, you know, the sort of dead hard question, the questions you're not meant to get. I was like, I purposely made them hard so that it would just annoy everybody. And it was just like one of them where it was like, I didn't plan for this to have a winner, but when Justin was like, we need a winner, and I was like, ooh, crap, I'm gonna have to tone some of these down. I think originally I had a question where I was gonna ask like, what are the notations for this move? I was gonna have everyone try and guess what the notations were to me.
Yeah.
And I was gonna ignore every single notation and just go, you're all wrong. This is it. And I was just gonna create like new notations just for no reason, just to be like, you're all wrong. It's these notations. And it was the question was meant to just highlight notations are just stupid. Like here they are. It's just some notations I made up. They make sense and you learn it, but you know, it's just one of them. Like it was meant to be. So I guess if hopefully when next year we do it, I'll probably I'll probably make it a little bit easier in regards to obviously like some of the questions we had up, but it was just one of them. I was just making like trick questions just so people could just laugh at it and stuff like that. I've got ideas for next year though. So I've got some evil questions for next year.
Nice. No, it looked like it was fun. Like it was fun, and everyone that was involved obviously enjoyed themselves and that. So and I'd spoken to one of the guys, Jason DNA. He's one of the guys, one of the founders of Versus Fighting, and as I was floating around and stuff, and he was there with his son, and one of the questions that he talked to me, he said, "Oh, what was the I think you asked about what were the 4 characters used on the first Versus Fighting poster?" And like obviously I know I designed the poster, so I know them, and he was like, "Oh, no one remembered," and then obviously son answered them straight away, and it was just like, it was just a bit mad. It was mad. So
I will say, making that verse fighting category was something else, and I was like, no, I'll make it a verse fighting category, and we'll make it dead hard at the end. I didn't think anyone would get that one. I never thought anyone would get when someone said Irish Centre. When they answered that, I was like, "You got that?" I was like,
right there.
Yeah.
Because
the question was the 4 characters and then the price of the price of actually entering all the games.
Mad.
And no one could get the price because I knew that no one could get the price because everyone kept getting like 20 quid or like 30 quid, and I was like, nope. Only £17.
Yeah, but this was the very first poster that I designed for Versus Fighting back in the day. I just thought it was sick that like you kind of had that such a deep pull of in terms of the actual questions and stuff. So I think next year, if I've got the time, I'm definitely going to take part fully. But obviously, I'm floating around doing camera work and stuff. But no, it was really good, man. It's really sick, man. So have you already started prepping for next year's one then?
I've got some questions which I threw away from
Yeah.
last year's that
Oh,
I'll
yes.
bring
Yeah.
back, and then I'll get them
Yeah.
reviewed with Justin to see if they're not too hard. I'm not doing one like I did the countries. I did the countries one, which was like how many countries have won and how many times have they won
Yeah.
at like versus fighting.
Mm.
I didn't expect Sweden to be third because I knew it was going to be UK and then I knew it was going to be France.
Yeah.
And then I thought third. I don't know why. I just thought third to be like South Korea or like Pakistan because obviously
Yeah.
Tekken. And when I seen Sweden, I was like, that makes no sense. And then I was like, oh yeah, Juicy Joe, Leffen. I was like, no, it's starting to make sense now.
Yeah, Bob Lennon as well for like King of Fighters won last year as well. So
yeah. So it was one of them where I was just like, no, it makes sense now. But like everyone else was just like, why Sweden? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. I think you can compete better. Like, it's not my fault.
Oh, so I guess we kind of touched on it briefly in terms of like the upcoming games that you like. What's kind of your hopes for like the next set of games? Because I say obviously we've got Marvel Tolkien, we've got 2XKO, which you've already spoke about. We've got Invincible. We've got the Avatar game coming out. There's a lot of new fighting games coming out and stuff like for 2026.
Yeah.
I guess what kind of games are you looking forward to in terms of playing or commentating on like in the upcoming?
I am holding my breath. I'll answer a few bits. I'm holding my breath for a Transformers fighting game. I know it'll never come in my entire life. I know I'm going to be 62, keeled over, riddled with dementia and Parkinson's or whatever, and I'll just be dead in a chair somewhere, and they'll go, "There's a Transformers fighting game," and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm coming out for the time to play it." I'll be playing that when I'm like 70 something, but I guess like in terms of like what's been announced, I'm excited for what essentially is like the second golden age of tag games that we're weirdly in. You know what I mean? It's like
100%.
Dragon Ball's like coming back in like a weird way.
Dragon Ball's back as well too.
100% when that show hits in, I think it's in March, when we get more information about Daima Goku, it's gonna be like they're gonna be like, yeah, here's number 2, and just for no reason, just because it's like we're gonna sit back on our throne on the ye old tag games or the throne that we've got now for some reason. Arc System works, and then Tokon as well played the beta. I hope they do something about Doomsdash because that's a killer dash. But that was like super fun as well. And then I've got high hopes from obviously both that Avatar game that came out of nowhere. That looked sick. I'll be honest, that looked sick. And then seeing the people who worked on it prior, I was like, you know what? I've got high hopes. I just hope they don't do it like they did them fighting heads. And then the Invincible versus sort of thing. I'm kind of like, I'm iffy about that. We've got a lot of people coming in being like, it's sick, but then I'm sort of like, and I know the pulleys of marketing. I'm gonna wait until I play it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna wait until I've got it in my hands, and then if it's sick when I play it, sure, give me the game. I'm all about it. And then to SKO, I know it's a developing game. Hopefully at some point, like I can really get into it. Hopefully at some point I just begin to like it because it's definitely a game I'm into. But it's one of them. And then I hope the games I'm already playing, like obviously 2.0 is coming out for Strive. Hopefully that can sort of get me going again there, sort of get the key back into the engine and get me back onto Strive. And then I hope Grand Blue never dies. And I know it won't because it's a mobile game. It's got infinite money. it's one of them. If it's got a mobile game, it's got infinite money. Dragon Ball, it's got 3 mobile games. It's infinite money. It can't be stopped. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Grand Blue obviously is stood the test of time, and it's a really good game, man. And like the community is so passionate about the game as well, which is really sick. And obviously the developers are still supporting with DLC and things like that as well. So I think Grand Blue's here to stay for a while. Definitely.
Hopefully so. It's definitely a game that's like, especially when when you realize like it's staggered launch in the middle of COVID, probably some of the worst delay-based echoes I've ever played. They still maybe drop the game, and then I was like, I'll just play it offline, and then everyone's coughing around the world, and you don't you can do about it. So, but then they released Ultimate, and it's like, no, it's they release versus Rising, like Rising, it's just like the better version of what was last Grand Blue, and it's sick, and everyone's loving it, and it's it's doing its bits.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess what's next for you in terms of upcoming events? Have you got any events planned or things that you're looking towards like this year or like further afield next year?
I guess obviously I do have to mention we've got Wake Up Online this weekend.
Okay.
We're just doing like a 2XKO bracket. It's just to get us
Nice.
back in the swing. We did like a charity stream at the end of last year. Meant to run it in like March, and then we sort of just hit this sort of dugout, which was just all of us just going through life, and we were just dealing around to like the staff lads and obviously everyone else who donated. And we were like, it's just on pause for the moment. We'll get back to you when we can do it. We're gonna do
this weekend.
This weekend, yeah, it's on the 8th. It's gonna be 2:00. I think we've only got a small bracket, but that's fine. We've only just thrown sort of 20 quid towards the prize pool. Got a match going. Anyone else has wanted to throw in, they can throw in. It's just there, just obviously just to give them something, bit of a thank you back to the people obviously that have already helped us out in that charity live stream. Back to the people obviously who keep asking me if I'm doing Wake Up this year, and I have to keep telling people no. Because every time I meet someone, they go, "Yeah, when's Wake Up?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know. We're still sorting it out. We're still trying to find a venue. We're still trying to see if we can't, step on toes. Because that's what we've all moved up north now. Well, I haven't. I've always been up here, but all the teams moved up north now, so we're in a situation where it's like we want to plant it somewhere, but
it's hard to kind of find.
Obviously, yeah, we don't want to step on Merseyside's toes. You obviously got NBA over in Manchester as well, so it's one of them where it's like trying to find the balance, but Wake Up will come. It will be there. In regards to like the rest of this year, I've got nothing else. I am big chilling until I'm probably not going to do anything major next year. I think because funny enough, this year was meant to be my off year. This was meant to be the year where I was like, I'm going to do nothing all year. Yeah. I'm just going to do VSFighting in UFA. That is it. Going to take it dead easy. And then you get to moments where I'm like, I just put an application in, don't think about it. And then I get an email back and it's like, oh yeah, we want you. And I'm like, I guess I'm going. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I get paid, sound, do that. It's been my busiest year. And I'm like, how has it been my busiest year when I thought last year was going to be my busiest? I thought last year I did great, bottled around all the events I didn't do or like never done. Thought I did, great and everywhere I did. And I thought, yeah, that'd be it. And then this year's was even better. So next year for definite is me off year. I'm renting a small room at the moment. I need to move out, obviously a big apartment. So it's going to be one of them where I'm going through a transition in my own life. I want to take my family with me. I want to, get to a point where if I'm going to start fighting games again, I need to be comfortable because I don't want to do them when I'm not comfortable. I don't want to do it when it's a risk to my own sort of like life. You know what I mean? And that goes for commentary as well. My life comes first and then my commentary second. It's a hobby. At the end of the day, it's a hobby and it's a hobby that I absolutely enjoy. You know what I mean?
No, that's sick. So have you got any, before we head off, have you got any shout outs for anyone, or feel free to shout out, obviously, the stream link, Twitches. You got the stream coming this week.
Yes. So obviously make sure you check that out. It's Wake Up online. It's going to be on my channel on Kenno_RJ. The sign-ups are there. Am I right to just drop them into the
of course.
The chat?
Yeah. I'll just drop in the just drop in the main chat, man. Of course, man.
Yeah, we've got the Matcherino links just got up on that. We're gonna get the code sorted for that very, very soon. So obviously make sure, if you can't attend or you're somewhere else, obviously make sure you just give the stream and watch, give us a thumbs up. Make sure obviously you're getting the word out for us as well. Shout out to obviously all the lovely people in chat who watched as well. Thank you very much for coming along and supporting this channel as well. Shout outs to Drowning Pools. Make sure you're getting signed up for that. That's in Liverpool. Next week, that's home time. If you come up to Liverpool and you're like, Kenno, what am I doing here? I'll be like, don't worry, I'll give you the tour of Liverpool and then we'll play some fighting games and then I'll give you the tour of the high streets and that we go for the bevy. How about that? That'd be dead easy. And then I guess my last thing is shout outs to the Liverpool. Yeah, we're gonna go win the Champions League. Dead easy. Dead easy.
I forgot how could I forget football?
How could you forget football?
I am an Arsenal fan and we're sitting pretty top of the league right now.
Yeah.
Ain't conceded a goal in a million years. Like it's good times right now. It's good times right now. But
it's all right.
What happened with Liverpool in terms of the form? What do you kind of put it down to in terms of the?
I don't know what you're talking about. We're back to back wins, 6-7. Clean sheets.
Was it 6-7? 6-7.
Don't know what you're talking about. Back to back wins, clean sheets. I mean, let me just reiterate a point. Let me just.
Oh gosh, here we go.
There we go. See, that says. You know what that says? That says champions. That's what that says. That says champions right there.
That's fine. But we're moving
goals
into
right there. Goals.
we're moving into 2026. You know, where's my Arsenal top? I can't even. No, I need to come up. But anyway, yeah, it's been an interesting season so far because I think like no, the camera's got blurry again. I think obviously early on in the season you guys are kind of scraping victories like last minute Fergie time.
I wouldn't say scraping.
It was definitely Fergie time. It was definitely Fergie time.
There was one or two that was scraping. You know,
Yeah.
there was one or two. I'd turn around and I'd say, you know, the foot came off the pedal, and I feel like what was the slew into that after that Palace game, it was sort of just like, oh, it's we're in that moment where, you know, we're going into like games and we're on the pedal for 30 minutes and then we're half-assed for the rest of it, and that's what it felt like, especially the Palace game. And especially that United game as well. It was one of them.
Oh yeah, that was a bad loss.
Should have won. I think I think it was the only one of them. I watched it and I looked at me dad and went, "We're losing it." What do you mean? It's like 2 minutes in. It's like we're losing it. I was like, the way this game's gonna go is that we're gonna lose it. We're not gonna put a goal in until like the 80th minute. It's gonna be like an header from someone mad. And then like someone will get the spawniest goal ever right at the end, and it's going to be like 90+ minutes or something like that. Because I seen it as soon as when it was like McAllister went down with the head injury, and they just like, yeah, we'll just keep playing. It's just like, and then it literally, I think it was like the game after, someone went down with a head injury, and they went straight to it, and it's like, I don't know, footy makes me mad sometimes. Inconsistencies, yesterday. The handball, and I was sat there and I was like, that's a penalty, it's in the box. And they went, nah, it's ball to hand. And I'm like, how many times in the Champions League has someone been like that with their arm and it's smashed in and they've gone, that's an handball? And I'm like, penalty. Where's the consistency? My main point with footy is always, I'm not bothered if a decision, right, this sounds mad, I'm not bothered if the decision's right or wrong in the moment. Yeah, I'm bothered about consistency. Get consistent with it, because it's never the decision's wrong. It's always the interpretation of the decision. I go back to like when Curtis got the yellow card, and then it got upgraded to a red, and it was like, where's the consistency here though? Like Jota that game got like two yellows, but one of them clearly wasn't a yellow. Yeah. But then the same tackle happened somewhere else, and now it's not a yellow, and it's like there's no there's like footy and referees. There's just no consistency, and it does me head in.
Frustration really, because it's like, what? Like I remember, obviously it was last season when for Arsenal it was like Declan Rice got sent off for kicking the ball, and then Trossard got sent off for kicking the ball, and it's like it's happening in other games, but no one's getting the same treatment, and it's like consistency.
I always think it's like the high of the moment as well, when it's just like a referee just gets a little bit too much power, and you're like, you just need to calm it down, go off and have like a Freddo or something, just like give yourself 5 minutes. Like, you don't need to be this angry at the players, you know what I mean? It's a footy match, but like, just give us some consistency. We're not getting anything from you, so it's all crap.
So I guess I feel like we could start another episode on football alone, to be honest. But we're gonna wrap it up soon. But I guess what are your thoughts on the season in terms of, like, some people are being silly saying slut out, like when you're going on your slump, is ridiculous. But I guess in terms of like your overall kind of thoughts, obviously out of the Carabao Cup as well.
I'm not bothered about that. It's all right. Just the milk cup. It's all right.
Yeah, it's fair. But so I guess obviously do you feel like, you know, you're still in the title race? You're still
that treble's still there. Yeah, it's all right. I don't know. It's one of them. It's a transition season. We've got a lot of new players.
No, I'm not having that.
It's a lot of new players.
I'm not having that. I'm not having that. You can't have. It's a transition season after you won the league last season, and you spent. I don't even know how much you spent. How is this a transition season?
You spent loads as well. How much was the Joker up front? Like, come on.
No, we spent loads. But but it's not a transition season. Come on now.
It is a transition season.
How? Explain this one to me.
All right. You tell me from last season, okay, who was different in that squad from the Jurgen Klopp team
Okay,
to
no,
that team.
okay. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of changes.
There's a lot of changes. We've sold a lot of players. We've sold a lot of backup players.
Yeah,
We bought a lot of new
Nunes,
players.
Trent, etc.
You know, it's we got rid of what was Liverpool's greatest ever player of all time, and then a rat went to Madrid. You know, there's nothing you can do about that. It's one of them. We're in a transition period. We're in a moment. We're in a moment where we've got a brand new configuration in midfield. We've got brand new left backs, right back. You know, our forwards. Thankfully, one of them stepped in and just sprinted us straight away off the grass. Ekatike.
Yeah, he's good. He's
fantastic
good.
striker. I think he's going to be wonders. You know what I mean?
Really
Honestly, I don't think I've seen a better French striker in the league since Henry. You know what I mean?
I was wanting to see where you go with that there.
He is on. I look at him. I'm just like, how is this just not Henry too? Like, how is it just not? It's one of them. He's sick. I was like, he's boss.
Good. He's really good, man. He's really good.
It's a transition, and the thing is, you got to look at it now as well. Kirkes has come in, challenged Robbo. Robbo, for some reason, now looks 22 when he's playing.
Yeah, exactly. He stepped up to the challenge, basically.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Frimpong's injured, but that means Bradley steps up, and when he steps up, he's absolutely amazing. We're still finding a place for Wirtz, and honestly, when he was on that left side yesterday, I don't think I've seen him play better at all, and I'm glad he got them assists in the Frankfurt game as well.
Yeah, he needed that.
I'll take it. Yeah, it's a bit of confidence going forward, and then Szoboszlai looks like the best player in the world. He is the best midfielder I've ever seen. I just can't fault him. Every time I'm just like,
sorry, my chest, man, my chest. Declan Rice.
I mean, to be fair, he is the only one in that squad holding any sort of European, sort of cups anyway. But just is what it is. It's a good thing that we've got a Europa Cup winner in ours. We've got a World Cup winner in ours. Plenty of them have won the Premier League twice, and some of them have won, good old big ears, good old Champions League Cup as well. It's good to win it, It's good to win it. It's good day out.
We'll see what happens this year, because I say you're top of the league, top of Champions League. I said haven't conceded.
That means nothing. Top of the Champions League means nothing. Oh, that means you're gonna get PSG in your round one, because that's what happened to us.
No, that was nonsense last season. That was nonsense last season, man. But yeah, I think I'm. But okay, Isak. I feel like we could just carry on, but I'm gonna carry on a little bit longer. But I'm conscious of time and stuff. But Isak at the moment, obviously, he's not. He's not set the world on fire, like injuries.
Yeah, because he's injured.
Yeah, no, but he's played a couple games. He's played a couple games now. Come on now. But I guess, personally, I feel like give it time. He will. He'll be fine. I think. Because we saw what he did with Newcastle, and he's a good player. And like, I would have took him at Arsenal, no problem. So it's weird because you went out and bought Ekatike, and we was like, okay, and then you went out and bought Isak Azan, and now I feel like
I'll be honest with you,
he's trying to fit in players. I just
think it was our sporting director being a proper legend and just being like, hey. Let's just piss Newcastle off a foot and shits and giggles. And it's like, go ahead. It's funny. They think they're massive because they won a Carling Cup. Like, get your player, lad. And the thing is, they brought in, was it Wolfsman?
Walter Marley,
yeah. I was sat there and I'm like, we're buying him in 2 years. Like he's going to be a Liverpool player soon, lads. Don't get used to it. Yeah, he's going to be wearing a Adidas thread soon. It'll be all right.
He started off well. Walter Marley, he started off well, to be fair, man. Like, when you think of all like the new strikers in the league, obviously, Gyökeres is up and down, had his critics, not really scoring. Obviously, Isak, Ekatike's done well. Like, João Pedro is, I think Ekatike is probably the one that has kind of, him and Walterman have probably been the best out of the new strikers in the league so far, at least. So,
I mean, João Pedro's had a shout there and there, he's looked good, but it's when he's not scoring against Sunderland on the weekend, and sort of letting that get away from you. And it's just Chelsea things, and hopefully that stays like that forever, because I absolutely hate Chelsea.
Yeah, I don't like Chelsea. I do not like Chelsea. So who have you guys got at the weekend, actually?
Don't ask me that now. We've got City on Sunday, 4:30.
Yes, 4:30. Super Sunday. You confident?
Honestly, with that Real Madrid game in the midweek, if we can just step out and just do that again, then yeah, I am. But after, because I watched City Arsenal,
Yeah.
never in my life would I thought Pep Guardiola would anamorphise back into what would be a prime English manager and just do like a back 10. It was crazy watching that match.
He's mad. He was mad.
Back 10, and then we can counter attack with Haaland, and I'm just like, you know what? Unironically, it's not a bad idea, especially with that squad. That lad up front's like fast, and obviously the best striker in the world. You can't do nothing about it.
Like,
so
him and Harry Kane right now are like on fire.
Yeah,
obviously Haaland is carrying City at the moment, to be fair, but yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
100% carrying them. Yeah. But I mean, like, you know, that's City squad though. It's good enough in its own right, and
yeah,
I think it's one of I don't want to be like we've been the only team that shut out. We have every time we've been, we have been the only team to shut out Ireland. We just it's too like what people do to Salah. It's throw two to them, nothing can do about it. You know, they've not got anyone else up front that going to do anything about it.
Yeah.
You know, if Doku's on the field, throw someone who's 25, and then that's it. He can't get past them. You know what I mean? And then on the, you know, they've got no one for the left side as well. And then I've got all the confidence in the likes of McAllister, Szoboszlai, and Gravenberch in the midfield just to dominate that midfield. It's the best midfield in the league, but you know, it's what it is.
No.
It is. It's the best midfield in the league. World Cup winner.
No.
And you got what essentially one of the best signings that we've ever made. And then you got Gravenberch as well. Nicked him from Bayern Munich for 20 mil. We're like, have him, go ahead. If you don't want him, we'll take him.
Rice is Mendy, Odegaard pivot is well, Odegaard's injured
it's
now.
All right. You know. Mendy's looking at mountains too much. That's what he is, you know.
No, man, it's gonna be an interesting like season, definitely. I again, as an Arsenal fan, I'm confident that like I'm not in a position where I'm like saying, "Oh, we're gonna win the league," blah blah blah, because like we've been there like plenty of times in the past couple of seasons, and you know we've finished second, like, and it's not been good. But I feel like there's gonna be harder tests as well. Like after Sunderland, we've got Munich Champions League, got Spurs, and then we've got Chelsea as well, and like there's gonna be bigger tests, and you know, but I feel like the boys are up to it, man. We're not conceding goals, not conceding shots on target, like.
It's one of them for Arsenal where you unironically have to win the league this year, because I don't think you can do second 3 years on the trot and then end like second again or third, because at that point it would just be too much of a meme. Even if you won it, like if you didn't win it this year and you won it next year, I don't think anyone would care. I think people just look, you go 4 on the bounce. Like it's 4, you've done 4 on the bounce. Like that's ridiculous for any club to do. The thing is,
we have to win it. We have to win. We have to win something. We have to win something this year. We have to win something this year.
It's got to be the league. If it's the FA Cup, you just cash it in, and that's all Arteta does. Something's going wrong. I just win the FA Cup. Just cash that in. Get the hope back in. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Get the Arteta banners out, you know.
But the league, I think to be fair, we have to win the league, and I think we've got the squad to win the league as well. There's so many injuries that we've got at the moment, but I feel like we've got the squad to win the league. But it's gonna come down to it at the end of the day, isn't it? So the
problem is what I see with that squad. It's got a good enough depth to win the league. It's not a good enough depth to win the league and compete in the Champions League, though. You know what I mean? It's.
I can agree with that.
It's you've like. I feel like when you're going to get to that moment where you're playing the FA Cup, you're obviously going to go for the FA Cup. If I see the first FA Cup game and you throw out like essentially what we throw out in the Carling Cup, I'm going to throw my hands up and say, you've got to win the league now because you gave up the FA Cup. If you go out and you go and play in the FA Cup, then the squad's going to get stretched too thin. Fitness is going to go. And I think the main aspect of where the goals come from is going to dry up. And to be fair, he's absolutely fantastic, obviously, what he's doing. I can't fault that. But it's one of them where I think you'll just have the odd game where, you know,
it doesn't work
something
out.
will just go wrong and it just doesn't work out.
Exactly.
I think it'll shock it at moments. But obviously, I'm saying that from the position of 7 points behind you. So I can finally watch the league and just not care. It's great. You know, it's fantastic. I'm looking at the champions. All I want now is the Champions League. Won the Premier League, won that last year. That's all give me the Champions League. Give me big ears. I want to go to another bender around town, bouncing around Matthew Street like that, just like with just red paint just all
Yeah.
over me, just because someone's got like a spray can out on the street or something. Happened last year, I think 2019.
Yeah.
I had the pinstripe New Balance shirt on. It was me, my brother, my dad.
Yeah.
My brother lost his Liverpool top in all bar one because he went in for like 20 minutes to grab a pint, started dancing, came out topless, and we're just like, why are you doing that? We're going to a Chinese now. Stumble into a Chinese, got the whole Chinese singing LA, 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 and then walked 2 hours home. Just like that, just singing. Walking through tube, the roughest parts of Tube Reef just to try and get home, just like mad. Oh.
But yeah, nah, it's sick though. But nah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up for now. Again, Kenno, thank you for coming. I appreciate the time. As I said, I might have to get you back on towards the back end of the season and see where the teams are. We'll see where the teams are. You know.
I hope we're first. It'll be so funny. I'll be sitting there like, told you that.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely gonna get you back towards the end of the season. I think like either the end of the season when it's done, when it's confirmed, or when it's mathematically impossible for anyone to catch Arsenal. Then I'll be like, Kenno, let's go, man, let's go.
It'll be the community corner with Kenno featuring special guests, both Plug and Dunk, and it'll just be like my worst nightmare. I'll just be sat there with a glum face, and I'll just be them two just taking the piss out of me, and you're just in the back like 5 minute moderating it, just being like, "Here's a question," and you just be like, "Why are you asking that, lad?"
No, that's so good. But I appreciate it. But before we head off, as I said earlier, we have Versus Fighting coming up this year. Next year, sorry, 24th to 26th of July. More details coming soon. Just the dates are there. Get saving, do what you need to do to get there. It's gonna be great. We also have Drowning Pools coming up this week. Not this week. What am I talking about? It's 15th. I've lost the link. It's coming up. Start.gg/Drowning Pools 2025. It's November 15th. Got Street Fighter Tekken, Grand Blue, couple other games there as well. That's coming up 2015, the 15th of November.
Yeah.
We also have I'm also a children's illustrator, so I do like children's books. These are my children's books I've created. I've got plush toys, things like that as well. LittleMiloBooks.com. Let's say we got not that section there. So we got toys, books, all that kind of good stuff. It's Christmas, if you're in need of anything for kids and stuff, LittleMiloBooks.com. This is my own personal thing that I do outside of Versus Fighting, and yeah, that's enough of the self shilling. But Kenno, thanks a lot for coming on. I appreciate your time as always. It's been great. Next week we have next week's episode we have Peach coming on from London. Shout out to Peach. She did some commentary at Versus Fighting this year. We'll be catching up with her about Tekken commentary. She also got back from Japan and Korea this week, so we'll be chatting to her about that as well next week. That's next week, same time, 7 p.m. next Thursday on Electronic Dojo. But for now, Kenno, again, thank you very much. For you guys out there that have been watching, thank you. Catch us on socials, everything Electronic Dojo except Instagram, which is Electronic Dojo UK. Please follow us on all socials, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll be back next week at 7 p.m. Kenno, thanks again. Appreciate your time, and come on, you Gooners, man. Come on, you Gooners. We're going to do it, man. We're going to do it. But thanks a lot, guys. We're off for now. See you later. See you later, guys.
Peace.
No.